Hey Planet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alicia and today's video is going to be a fun one. We're going to do star signs as inks, and this month is Aquarius season. Alrighty, so to get started, what I'm going to go ahead and do is stamp out my little ink bottle stamp. I got this in Japan, but if you just search up ink bottle stamp Beverly, it will pop up, and depending where you are located, there are tons of different retailers that you can get it from. And I'm going to be stamping it using the Versa Magic ink. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I went ahead and stamped out all the stamps, and we're going to get into the ink swatches. But before we do, I just wanted to give you a rundown on the Aquarius star sign. So the Aquarius is also known as the water bearer, and despite its name, it is not a water sign. It is in fact an air sign. It's an air sign because it embodies the qualities of mind, communication, intellect, and social connection, as opposed to emotion. So the water bearer imaging is actually more representative of dispensing wisdom and ideas for humanity rather than personal feeling. So Aquariuses are known for being very innovative, progressive, rebellious, and humanitarian. And the colors that I chose, I tried to kind of emulate that. Alright, so the first color that I chose is Waka Aguisu by Sailor Shikiori. This is a very beautiful green. To me, it's a very swampy green color, almost like a mossy, seaweedy kind of a color. For all of my swatches, I use my glass dip pen. This was given to me by my friend, and she bought it in Venice, so it's made of Venetian glass. So I use the butt for the little swatches, and then I obviously use the glass writing tip for my writing samples. So this green I thought was very nice because it does kind of have that like watery, lakey, swampy vibe, but it's also very naturey. I think it's a very peaceful color to look at, which kind of embodies the humanitarian aspect of the Aquarius. I did also want to say that Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, so because of that, the color palette generally tends to lean more greenish blue with hints of other colors like purple and white, so you'll see that reflected in the colors that I've chosen for this swatch. I also did want to say I'm so sorry that the audio is not real time. I did actually record the audio in real time when I filmed the video, but unfortunately my washing machine was going off in the background, and the sound of the washing machine was so grating I couldn't handle it when I was editing the video, so I just decided to cut my losses and film a voiceover instead, so I hope it's not too bad. Let me know how you guys feel about it below. But the second color that I chose is Diamine Aurora Borealis. To me, this is a true blue-green or a turquoise color, and I thought that this was very Uranus-y, like when you look up pictures of Uranus. To me, it is very much this color. There is a bit more glow to Uranus, but I do think that this is a pretty good representation. Again, it's also just a very calm color, and I think that that's indicative of both the sky as well as the water, and I thought this was a very nice color for the color palette. I do also really enjoy the way that this color performs. It writes really buttery, and it's just such a pleasure to write with. I think Diamine does a great job with their inks. They're all very affordable, but they perform just as well as my more expensive inks. Sometimes they perform better. Obviously, every brand has inconsistencies, but I think for the price, Diamine is actually really hard to beat, and I'm really glad that I ended up picking up a bunch of them to try. Okay, so that was the second color of the Aquarius color scheme. The third color I decided on is a color that I only have a sample of, and this is Wearingle, a Watery Star. So this is a shimmer ink, which I thought was a little bit rebellious. The color is pretty basic, it's just a blue, but the shimmer adds some fun to it. I think it's also quite a progressive thing to be into shimmer in your inks, so I thought that was really fun. The color, again, is very indicative of like a sky or a water with sun just beaming through the clouds, or dancing across the top of the ocean. The shimmer in this one is a blue shimmer as well, so it's not super strong and it doesn't stand out that much, but it does add just a hint of fun to your page, especially when you tilt your writing at the right angle. I will, however, say that this ink I do have difficulty with in my fountain pens. So every single pen that I have put this ink in has clogged. I've tried this in a Kaweco, I've tried this in a TWSBI, I've also tried it in a different pen. I can't remember which one it was, but all three pens that I have tried this ink in have clogged. I think it's because the shimmer particles in this ink are larger than the shimmer particles in some of my other shimmery inks, like the ones from Diamine, so they just don't like it, unfortunately, because this is a beautiful ink, and I think it works a lot better with dip pens, but even there you can see I was struggling a little bit to write with it. It was a little more dry and the ink just wasn't flowing down the dip pen as nicely as I would like for it to. So this is a gorgeous color and I do think it's very Aquarius vibes, however I don't know if I recommend it. The next ink that I have is Pilot Iroshizuku Ajisai. This one I think is the most boring color of the lot. It is a very like traditional, almost office color. However, instead of being a true blue, I would describe this color as a blurple, therefore making it slightly more innovative and fun, therefore making it slightly more Aquarius-y. This color is just such a delight to write with. Well, you can see I was calling it boring in inverted commas. This color is such a delight to write with. It just drips right off the nib. I think that Pilot Iroshizuku inks have some of the best lubrication out of any ink I have tried. I have not tried a single Iroshizuku ink that was not wet and juicy. So definitely need to add an Iroshizuku to this because of how well it performs. I think the qualities of an Iroshizuku ink are very similar to the qualities of an Aquarius, bar the rebelliousness. I wouldn't say that an Iroshizuku ink is very rebellious. The Wearingle, on the other hand, that's a fight on your hands. Anyway, so now we're down to the last color, which is another shimmer ink. This is a Cult Pens Diamine exclusive, and this is from the Deadly Sins collection, and this one is Pride. Pride is a beautiful purple ink with a purple shimmer, and well, once you write on paper, the shimmer actually almost looks silver depending on what paper you write it on, but it is a purple shimmer. This color is absolutely gorgeous, and again, I thought that this fit the color scheme very well because one of the colors that is associated with the Aquarius is purple, and this is a gorgeous, vibrant, saturated color. I don't think Aquariuses are very dull. I don't think that they're shy. I think that they're very bold and bright, and also, you know, the qualities that they have are very strong characteristics. So I would definitely describe Aquarius as somebody with a very strong personality, and I think that for that reason I didn't go with too many pastel colors. I tended to go for the brighter, more saturated tones because I feel like they fit the color scheme better. Again, this Diamine ink performs really well and it's just such a delight to write with, and I felt like it really fit the theme. Alrighty, so I decided while I was waiting for the inks to dry that I was going to use my dip pen and all of the inks and basically write down what I told you guys. I thought that this would be a great opportunity to really use the color palette and see how everything looks together. I also thought it would be nice to see how the inks performed in some longer form writing. Unfortunately, I didn't get to write a whole lot with every single ink, but it was a little bit more than writing the name of the ink and the brand that it's from. And I really enjoyed having the information jotted on the side as well. I think it just, again, highlights the reasons that I chose the colors that I did, and I think that that will be really fun to look back on when I flip through my ink journal. After that, I then decided to take a bunch of blunt syringes. These are the ones that I use to fill my fountain pens, and I basically just added a couple of drops of each ink and did a giant ink swatch swirl type situation. Learn from my mistake and note that I used way too much ink. You'll see later I ended up having to mop a lot of it off because I just put too much. I went too droplet happy. It's really fun to do, so that's probably why, but I used the back end of my glass swatch stick and I just muddled all the colors together, and I think it's really nice because it shows you what the colors look like individually but also as a whole as a palette. So my swatches have dried, so I'm going to show you the colors up close. So we have the Sailor Shikiori Waka Oguisu, Diamine, Aurora Borealis, Wearingle, A Watery Star. You can really see the blue shimmer coming through. Pilot Aroshizuku Ajisai, and the Diamine Cult Pens exclusive in Pride. So pretty. The shimmer on paper actually looks like a purpley silver. It's very interesting. Then I've gone ahead and written about what I told you guys using the ink, so you have a good idea of how they look in slightly longer form writing. And then I've gone ahead and done a big swatch all the way across, and I've muddled some of the colors together. I think that's a very pretty color palette, and I think it fits the Aquarius theme perfectly. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content from me. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!